Then
And
put your little hand in mine.
There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, do 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 do. I've got you, babe, do 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 do. I've got you, babe, do 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 do. Okay, campers, rise and shine. Don't forget your booties because it's cold out there today.
It's cold out there every day. Where is this? Miami Beach?
Not hardly. And you know you can expect hazardous travel later today. What with that blizzard thing?
That blizzard thing. Oh, well, I've got the National Weather Report right here, and it says there's going to be a big blizzard thing.
Yes, there will. And you know what makes today especially interesting?
Especially cold.
Yes, especially cold. It's a question on everybody's lips.
They're chapped lips.
Yes, their chapped lips. His will Phil come out and see his shadow.
Punxatawney Phil.
That's right, Woodchuck Chuckers. It's
Groundcast Day, colon a Groundhog Day podcast.
And this is episode
41.
And I'm going to close that window because they're starting to play music.
And it is Saturday, September 21st, 2019. Donald Trump is still in office.
That he is, Bob, that he is. Mm-hmm. I'm Randy, and that's Bobby. And
we're still watching this movie.
We're still watching this movie, even though the episodes go up like every 2 weeks right now. We're still watching.
We're busy men, you know. We got shit to do.
Sorry. We're children.
I'm sorry, one listener.
We're old children. We're old children.
Shit to do. We're all children. Is that the message of the movie? We're all children.
No,
that's not it.
That's not it. That's not it. So, Bobby.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, so we got some stuff to talk about. Last week, Randy was sick or something, or tired.
No, last week you got drunk and you didn't wake up until late at night.
But you also told me you were too tired.
No, I kept falling asleep because I was waiting for you.
Yeah, so you were tired.
Yeah, it's like, but if you had shown up, I'd been like, okay, let's record. I'm ready for this. And then we would have watched Little Monsters.
Well, we can do that today.
No.
Fuck.
That's why I said next week. I'm good for that.
All right.
But it's like I said, it's like I was all ready and raring to go, and I was just sat here and kept falling back to sleep.
I, for one, really wanted to see a grown man piss into a bottle in front of a minor.
And with the intention of making another minor drink that.
Mm-hmm.
That's his fetish.
Very fetishy.
So, how was your 41st watch of Groundhog Day?
That shit was last week.
No, that yeah. You obviously don't remember it because you
didn't come here.
You didn't come here at all.
Nope.
You barely even surfaced.
I probably just came like I came
several times.
I show up. I just probably watched it like either Friday night or Saturday. I don't remember.
Because you know what they say. I masturbated 7 times in one evening.
It was
just to know I can.
It's been a busy week, and I don't really remember last week's watch too much, but it happened.
Yeah, rest assured that we're still burning that midnight oil watching this film.
I got it on my computer. I watched it at top speed.
Yeah, but I watch it at normal speed, stone sober. So who's getting the shorter end of the stick here? And I like this movie.
Always Randy.
And I like this movie.
I used to like this movie. I used to.
And then you got the bright idea to do this 52 times.
Yep.
My watch last week was the same as the week before because I did that whole nifty thing of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And watching it twice in one day and then holding out. Mm-hmm. And holding out.
Yeah.
Until I watched it last night. Again, but that's for the next episode.
Okay.
So it was the same old. It did not leave an impression out for me at all. It's like I meditated for an hour and 40-something minutes.
Yep.
And I became one with myself and with the world.
Hmm.
And then I got incredibly angry for some reason. And then went to bed.
Yeah, I remember passing out at some point in the day and then waking up back up. So there you go.
That was our watches, people. So let's go back to this massive...
Do you want to read some of my last quotes?
Oh, you want to...
I made quotes this week, but I think we should wait for the next episode for that.
Oh, no, like I said, I have a whole documentation of here.
All right. You read them out, and I will comment on them.
Let's see. I'm just going over because we were jumping around.
Yeah. This is last week. I think I sent him some notes or something, or maybe this is from 2 weeks ago. And we don't think we got through it all.
So, you wrote, Rita gets really pissed off when Phil doesn't want to go to dinner with her and Larry on the 1st February 2nd. But, on the 1st February 2nd, but on February 1st, she didn't care.
Yep.
Discuss.
Well, on February 1st, as you all know by now, one listener, she says, "Hey, Phil, do you want to come to dinner with me and Larry?" He's like, no thanks. I've seen Larry eat. He sticks his hand in his mouth. And then she just laughs. She's like, "Okay, well, see you tomorrow." I should know the line by now. And then Larry's like, "Prima donnas." And, no, did he show himself the talent? Then the next day, on the first iteration of February 2nd, he, when they fail to get back to Pittsburgh, they go back to the bar, and they're sitting there, and she just says, Rita and Larry come up to Phil, and she's like, "Oh, well, do you want to go to dinner with me, Larry?" He's like, no, I'm going to sit in my room and look at some Hustlers. And she's like, "Fine!" And she walks away.
Because she's trying to include him and is doing everything in his power to not.
Mm-hmm.
And is being a jerk about it. Mm-hmm. It's like, honestly, at that point, she's probably at the
End of her rope.
end of her rope.
She sat in a van. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got turned around.
She sat in a van. They had to come all the way back, and then he just does not want to interact with them.
Not engaging. She let it
So
slide.
wait.
She let it slide the first day because they had a long trip. But yeah.
So wait. Could she have wanted to spend more time with Phil?
Yeah. That's why she was mad.
Like, no, I'm saying, it's like, you know how we're always like mystified how she falls in love with him in one day in the last scene, even though the thing, could she have had like an attraction to him from the beginning, and she was constantly trying to get him?
Yeah, they were sparring a little bit in the van, if you recall, on February 1st. So like she kind of like, he's like, "Oh, some people like blood sausage. I like blood sausage. Well, I got some right here." Like they were kind of sparring a little bit, but it was just a flirtation. So she kind of wanted to like, talk to him a little bit more.
So you're saying there's some interest there? Maybe
there was some interest, but she needed to get to know him more, and then he shut her right down. He's like, "Nope, I'm not going to eat with yous." She's like, "Fine, fuck you."
So with that thought in mind, does that make the ending of the movie where she falls in love with him in one day a little bit more, and just suddenly it's like, "Oh, hey, he's suddenly very mysterious and interesting.
No.
He's playing hard to get."
No, because it's too far a leap from flirting with somebody to falling in love with them.
But she suddenly, it's like...
If this was a romantic comedy...
It is a romantic comedy.
No, I mean, if this was like a regular romantic comedy, some time would have to pass, like a few weeks of them interacting. So they're still at like she's still at date one.
So is that why in the musical...
at day two, sorry.
In the musical, why they constantly bring up the fact that they met before. Is that why that was added to the script, you think, for this musical?
Yeah, it was remixed. And it was one of the original writers, I believe.
Yeah, it is the original writer who wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why. She had to work with him before, because otherwise they must have realized the weakness of this script she just met him.
No, a lot of people consider this like a very perfect script in many ways, just because of...
Have they ever fallen in love with somebody in one day? Huh?
Well, it is a romantic comedy, so it happens. But like I said, there were feelings
typically
there.
Romantic comedies have to have time pass between the two leads.
So let's go further back then. Let's go back to the opening that got tacked on at the news station.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's all embarrassed and being like, "Oh no, you caught me," is she doing that because Phil saw her? And is that more of the flirtation?
By the way, I got something to say about that. Again, a slight continuity error. When she's looking, she's got her head like turned. And then, like, when the angle changes, it's suddenly straight. Her head is straight.
Yeah, but it's the camera changing angle.
All right. I'm just pointing that out. Little continuity error right there in that early scene that was shot live.
Yeah, well, whenever they do a scene where they have a person talking and then cut to a different angle, their lips aren't matching the movement. It happens every time. It happens in every movie. It's something that I notice in every movie I see. It's not a big continuity error. It's what happens when you move a camera for the angle.
It's 1993. I will forgive it for that, but they shouldn't do that anymore.
But the most perfectest of movies was made prior to 1993, Bobby. The best movie of all time.
Wizard of Oz?
The movie that by which all other movies are compared, a mastercraft of the genre. Citizen Kane.
Oh, okay, same era.
People consider that the perfect movie.
Okay.
So,
should we compare and contrast with Groundhog Day?
No.
Phil and...
No, we're fine.
Okay.
We're fine. We don't need seasons.
Rosebud versus
Let's jump to.
Hit me with your best shot.
Where exactly is the money going for the bachelor's auction?
Yeah.
Who benefits?
Who does benefit?
I ask you, Bobby. Who benefits?
Because they never talk about it in this whole movie. Like, there's no mention of a charity. Is it going into Buster's pocket? I don't know.
Are they raising money for the kids? Are they raising money for?
They're raising money for crippled children, like the one Phil caught, and the little girl who he saved from being pushed into the walking in front of a car in the deleted scenes.
They're raising money to solve their homeless problem. Mm-hmm. Except they haven't been doing a very good job in the last couple of years because they only have one homeless man and he dies. Pops. And so they resolved it. He resolved it himself.
Well, he's dead, so
going to Buster's pocket.
The money's going to Buster's pocket now.
Is there like a secret lodge of the Groundhog like in that town? Do you think there's a cult surrounding it where they worship at the altar of the Groundhog?
I think it's just a drinking club at this point.
You mean like a Moose Lodge or a Legion or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Let's not diverge too much about River City.
No, those are just standard places.
Okay, it's like a drinking club. It probably once had some prominence in a cult, but now it's just turned into a standard drinking club.
Was Larry part of such a cult recently? Because when she asks, "What would Phil do by kidnapping a groundhog?" No, Larry quickly replies, "I can think of one thing."
Larry from San Francisco.
So is he part of the Swallows Returning to Capistrano cult? I guess. I can see you visibly getting like angry as I'm like doing this. You're like, what the hell is he doing? He's off script. I don't care. I'm just going with the flow. I'm just saying Larry is from San Francisco and he covered that for 6 years in a row. And I will apologize to our one listener. We're having technical difficulties, so if this sounds weird. Okay, so weirder than usual. We're recording on my cell phone without any mics. Nope. In a empty room. Talk to the cell phone. And there's a single bird that I can hear, even though the window's closed. It's going tweet, tweet. Now we're going to have to credit the fucking bird. Well, he's our new member. We call him Birdy McBirdbird. Mm-hmm. All right, come on, reading me some more shit. We got to entertain the people. Okay, no one reacts to Ned being punched. Yeah, don't you find that weird? If you were in the middle of the street in a large city like, say, Montreal, and you just saw a man being punched in the face and falling flat on his face afterwards, wouldn't you, like, be shocked instead of just continuing about your day? First, I would ask myself, in the case of Montreal, is it Franco on Anglo violence, or is something else different? You're right. A Frenchman might have heard somebody speaking English. That could have been the case. But in a small town where everybody seemingly knows each other, Ned is the insurance salesman. The insurance salesman for the town. And as we can tell just on his one meeting with Phil in the movie that we see, mm-hmm. even though he knew him in the past, mm-hmm. that he's a really annoying fellow. So if we had somebody in our community that was super annoying, mm-hmm. that everybody hated, mm-hmm. and then some random out of towner looked at him like, "Hey, I know you," and then punched him in the face and just continued walking away, mm-hmm. would you react? Yeah, seeing somebody punched is a shocking thing. If they were especially as annoying as he could have hit his head on the concrete and died or something. It's like if he was as annoying as Ned, I would literally be like, "Huh, he had that coming," and then just continue on my way. Okay, I just imagine somebody would walk over to him and be like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I used to know a guy during school that everybody agreed is like, "Yeah, no, he's a nice guy, but he deserves at least one punch in the face by every person he meets." Wow. Just because he thought he was that type of person, like that he was top dog, like he's like just deserved. It's like, no, you deserve a punch to the face. It's like there's some faces are punchable. Some people are just like they kind of deserve that. So people in this town are like, you know what? Good, an insurance salesman got what's coming. But they didn't even look at it. They were acting like it wasn't there. He got categorized suddenly as, oh, that's a homeless person. Ignore. They ignored Ned. Like they literally think Ned is just an invisible thing. Or they thought, well, I hope he has insurance, and then they continue walking. Oh my God, he must have insurance. He works in an insurance company. Wouldn't it be ironic if he was an insurance salesman but had zero insurance because he couldn't afford it because nobody would buy insurance off of him?
It's like being a healthcare worker in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Message.
Let's see. We already talked about the Kenny thing.
Yeah. That's why I told you not to skip around last time. You gotta find new content.
Only God can make a tree. Then make a tree, Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously Phil's not God, because he can't make a tree.
Well, I'll reply to your thing here. You said, on days when Phil gives the homeless guy Pops money, fake John Candy doesn't.
Yep.
And I have a reason for that.
Tell me.
Phil is passing at a different point at that end of the day at that point. Because we know that he has a bunch of other little things he's doing. So I don't think he's passing at the same time as he would normally be if he was just running straight from the bed and breakfast to the center grounds. Because he has to network, because people know who he is by the time he's giving his when Chekhov said.
Yeah.
So I think he's just going
Well,
through
that's only
a
the last day. I'm talking about previous days.
I know, but who knows how many times he's given that speech and tried to like tweak it, and you know what I mean?
Well, he's rehearsing it, yeah.
Like it's just this is
Testing
part of my day.
The great thing about repeating the same day over and over is you can test the audience, and then you can retest them over and over. It's a perfect audience testing venue.
No, it's bad.
He should have been a stand-up comic.
You know, it's bad. There was a point in this movie where I started to remember like all the lines, but we're so far past that point, I'm starting to forget all the lines in the movie again.
Yeah, it happens.
It's like trauma. My brain's like, nope, you can't take it anymore. You're blocking it out.
It happens.
We already talked about dubbing. We already talked about that. We talked about that many weeks ago.
You see, sometimes when you're doing a Groundhog Day podcast, it can get a little bit repetitive. Because you're watching the same thing over and over, and the character's experiencing the same thing over and over.
We already talked about all this stuff concerning the game that we had seen. It's hard because I just literally shot it in. Okay, so here's the biggie, Bobby.
Tell me.
You asked me, you wrote to me. Phil stayed at the Pennsylvania Hotel 2 years ago, so 2 years prior to the events of the film.
91.
Where did he stay last year? Like the previous year?
92. Yeah, where did he stay?
Where do you think?
Because it wasn't the Pennsylvania and it wasn't the bed and breakfast.
I think there's another place or two to stay, because they have to have a bunch of rooms for all the people that are coming down for the Groundhog Day festival. They have, like, even if they're not used throughout the year, they know they need places that can be opened up for this big event, because it's a very big event.
Keeping in mind it was just him and Larry.
Him and Larry the year before, yeah, and whoever their producers. Maybe Kenny went with them the year before.
No, he's junior. Why would he be demoted?
True, yeah, he's not a producer. But you know what I mean? Maybe somebody went with him the year before. Like a new producer, yeah. Maybe somebody who got tired of his crap.
And left.
Maybe his crazy ex-girlfriend who cast a spell on him to get him trapped in Groundhog's Day. You know.
Well, we haven't seen any of their venues as far as I know. So
that's my thought on it. Another one you had brought up was the fact that there is no bed in the middle of the jail cell. Like, there's no bed in that jail cell at the police station.
Right. What's he supposed to do? Lay on the ground?
Yeah, because not all of them have it. Have you never, like, watched a cop show?
No, I've not been in jail, okay?
I know, but you've never watched, like, you've never watched Law & Order, you've never watched, like, anything like that.
It seems a little inhumane. You wouldn't give the person at least a cot?
Not in holding, because sometimes they have a bunch of people in there and they don't get anything.
Well, no, that was a small individual cell. It wasn't a big holding cell. It was a little individual cell.
Well, as we know from the thing, it's like they created that whole little thing there, that whole cell. But
they should have put like a little thing like that was chained to the wall. That was like a little board.
It's a holding. It's a holding thing.
Gave him something to lay on, so he wouldn't be laying on the floor like an animal. It's
like he'll sit on the floor. Maybe for all you know, on the out corner of the shot, there might be a bench. But overall, it's just
meant to be a holding shell. Surrounded by gates on all sides.
Yeah, it's like I've seen that
in the middle of the fucking room.
Yeah, I've seen that before on like a Law and Order. Like they have a central holding cell where usually it's not where they're going to be staying, but they're brought in there to wait. It's like it's not like a little sheriff station.
Say it would be the kind of place you would be held if you were Naruto running at some sort of military base?
Okay, let's get down to this. Did anything actually happen? Because I didn't hear about anybody dying, nothing.
I was going to wait till next episode to bring this up, but No, nothing happened. A bunch of pussies, like about 100 pussies, showed up and just hung out outside, like 100, not 100 feet, like about 100 meters from the actual base, and did nothing but like basically have a little meetup. And that was it.
That's it.
And that's it. They were like too pussy to actually rush it.
Because they were going to die.
They wouldn't have been died. They would have been shot with rubber bullets and tear gassed.
Well,
Area 51 people.
Everybody, that is the end of the 41st episode of Groundcast Day, a Groundhog Day podcast.
How eventful.
And we'll be back for our next exciting edition.
In about 2 minutes.
Don't take away the magic. Don't take away the magic.